Welcome to TTM Cast, your sports collectibles podcast. TTM Cast is brought to you by Wanna Shuffle, the free monthly autograph trading service. Also supported by sportscollectorsdaily.com. If it happens in the hobby, you'll find it on sportscollectorsdaily.com. And sponsored by gemrate.com. The latest grading statistics from the 4 major grading companies are just a click away. Visit gemrate.com. It's free. And now, here's our host, Drew Pelto.
Well, hello, everybody. We are coming to you here once again with TTM Cast, your sports collectibles podcast. Place where we talk about TTMs, cards, autographs, collecting, whatever really is on our minds in those areas, mostly. Sometimes other stuff, too. We're at season number 7, episode number 20. Coming up on the end of the year, we have one more after this one in the 2025 year. And we'll roll to 2026 with a new twice-monthly format. We're here on November 2nd in this nationally ranked Sports Collectibles podcast. I am Drew Pelto, coming to you here from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. My co-host is Aaron Littleton, coming to us from up in Wichita Falls, about 2 hours away from here. Aaron, how are things going? Welcome to the show, as always.
It's great to be here, as always. It's a little bit chilly in Wichita Falls. I don't know what's going on. I mean, normally we're still clipping along at 95 around now, but we've had some 40s and 50s at night.
Okay, I was about to say, what defines chilly to you in this case? But okay, yeah, 40s and 50s, that we'll allow that. We'll count that. Yeah. I think to me, it's not chilly until it gets below 40. Then it's like, okay, yeah, now we got a little bit of a briskness in the air. So yeah.
So anything under 50 before Thanksgiving is pretty chilly around here, especially Wichita Falls is normally pretty hot, even among hot places, so it's been a little bit of a change of pace, but it's nice. I enjoy it.
I remember the second to last summer I was there, they Weather Channel had ranked it as the place that suffered the most in the country in a very hot summer. Wichita Falls had the worst thing. It was 100 days over 100 degrees that year. So, yeah, cold is not the forte of that particular city. That's for sure. Well, looking through some sports news, of course, yesterday, Game 7 of the World Series. Did you get a chance to watch it at all?
I did. I actually I made a point yesterday. My team had a fundraiser at Sonic, so shout out to Sonic and Wichita Falls for helping us out. But and so I did that most of the day. But yeah, I got to take it in, and man, that was one, if not the craziest game, other than maybe that Charos game we saw, earlier this season. But yeah, I mean, that was the craziest actual major league game that I've ever seen. Who knew that the benches would clear in Game 7 of the World Series? I bet you that's the first.
And it seemed to come out of nowhere, too. I mean, the guy gets hit in the hand. He's like, it didn't hit you. It's like, you can see right there. Yes, it did, for God's sake. So I did not get to see the end of it, unfortunately. I got to see about the first 7 innings or so. We were out playing pool with a couple friends and decided, all right, hey, let's go and see if we can, grab food somewhere. And okay, well, I can probably get on my phone. And no, the Spectrum app said, oh, no, you have to be connected to your home Wi-Fi for it to work. I'm like, screw you guys. Okay, fine, whatever. So I followed on MLB.com and just kind of watched it as best I could that way and tried to imagine everything in my head there from about the 7th inning onward. But yeah, congratulations to the Dodgers. And I, for one, would like to be the first person to welcome the 27 lockout that is going to be coming to us after their victory here. So, yeah, I mean, that was the one thing that I could say. I mean, I think they were going to be in a lockout no matter what, no matter who won last night. But when you get a team that's able to spend $1 billion literally on free agents, while you've got other teams that are scraping by, barely able to get into the 9 figures on their total salary per year, that is a problem. And so I, for one, am welcoming, if they want to cancel the 2027 season to hammer this out and finally fix a broken financial situation, please go right ahead. I will sacrifice one season to get this figured out. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it, at least there. So,
it's funny because I also mentioned after the game last night, I was like, oof, we're definitely having a lockout now. But, the crazy thing about the game, and I'll talk more about this later, but there were so many moments, just crazy moments that happened towards the end of the game, whether it be, the play at the plate with Connor Falefa that barely, Isaiah, the guy that both you and I are very familiar with from his days as a Rough Rider. But yeah, just barely getting eked out at the plate. And then there's like the next half inning, there's the play with Andres Jimenez where they cut the run. And I mean, it's just like dueling, not scoring in situations. And then eventually you have, the play that is going to be Monday morning quarterbacked all over Canada for the rest of all eternity. And that is allowing Alejandro Kirk, the slowest guy in all of Canada, to ground into a double play to lose it. I mean, in my mind, I feel like you've got to do something there. You've got to start Barger. I don't think that they had any faster pinch running options or something, but you got to know that you got Yamamoto throwing 39 different pitches, that all with crazy movement on it. And you've got Alejandro Kirk, who is like Benji Molina, but slower. He's a good hitter, but you got to know that the recipe is that he's going to hit into a World Series ending double play. And yeah, so I feel like Snyder should have probably done a little bit more to counteract that. I may get in some trouble, for saying that. But I mean, other than that, I mean, just what a game, what a series.
Yeah.
So
there wasn't much they could do there. I mean, they already brought in Straw at that point. They'd already brought in Kiner Falefa. If you have anybody on the bench, they're going to be slightly faster than Kirk, but not by a whole lot, I would think. Because, I mean, I'm trying to think of like, okay, who else would be left on there? And yeah, I can't even name anybody else that would have any degree of speed at all. But yeah.
The only guy that I saw, because I did look it up just to make sure, because I knew I was going to talk about this today. Ty France was the only other guy. And so obviously not very much of a speed merchant himself. But I mean, I just feel like you've got to, if you're Snyder, you've got to be looking at this going like, Yamamoto throws all these pitches that he can get a double play on, and Kirk is, it's like we're done, if that happens. And so you got to know it's a pretty good chance. And I feel like you got to do something to counteract that. Like, I mean, me as a Blue Jays, I'm not a Blue Jays fan, but if I was a Blue Jays fan, even if you send Barger there and he gets thrown out or something crazy happened, it's like at least you didn't just sit on your hands, and let what was almost inevitable happen. But I mean, shout out to the Blue Jays. I mean, they were a great team, throughout the postseason. It seemed like destiny may be on their side, but postseason baseball is something completely different.
I don't think there's anybody in Toronto who would have expected, if you'd said back in April, hey, your team is going to be playing in Game 7 of the World Series, I don't think anybody there would say, no, I don't want that. So, yeah, I mean, great season, surprising season for them for sure.
Yeah, and Miguel Rojas is the new Bucky Dent in Toronto. That is that's for sure. I mean, but baseball, it almost never disappoints, and so I obviously, the Dodgers with all their spending and all that kind of stuff, they made themselves a little bit of a nuisance to the baseball world. But so I think a lot of people root against them for that. But it's like, I think, once you get all that way in extra innings, and basically you played like an 8-game series and some change with the 18-inning game and all of that, I think that you've got to be like, okay, even if you dislike the Dodgers because of the way they went about it with the payroll and all of that, I think you've got to tip your hat and be like, okay, they deserve to win this series because it was just bananas the whole way through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, moving on to some official show business here. Just wanted to give a heads up to anybody who donated to our fundraising drive last month. That first off, thank you again for getting in on that. I was able to contact everybody, get info about the prizes, or I guess rewards. I don't know what to call it exactly, that we're handing out there to those people who have contributed, but we have all of those ordered up. We're hopefully get them in the mail this week. Should hopefully get them here, and then I'll get them out just as quickly out to each of you individually. So be on the lookout for those if I talk to you about those. And if you decide to accept it, we had a few people who said, hey, thanks, but no thanks, put it on into the show. So we'll probably use those and have some t-shirt giveaways at some point in 2026. So we're going to try to do some more giveaways here this year if we can. So that hopefully will be good. Something else I wanted to mention was still kind of a side thing that I'm running myself here. Hey, Aaron, have you ever been in a situation where you're at a game and a player is signing and you have nothing for them to sign?
All the time.
Well, do I have a solution for you? Introducing Sig Spot cards. You've probably seen something similar to this out there before. You know, these cards that have like the sweet spot of a baseball on them or something like that. Well, guess what? We're making our own here. We have some generic ones. We're doing them for baseball, for football, for basketball, for hockey, for soccer. We have ones that just have like a generic one. So it's like, baseball autographs on it or, soccer autographs. We're also customizing them for every city you could possibly think of. We're just taking them by order. So we're kind of making them as you order them essentially. But the other company that makes these, they have 30 cities for baseball on there. Or I guess, more like about 28 cities for baseball and then, multiple colors for each one. I can't use the T word on here. I'm trying to make sure this is, perfectly safe and flies under the radar of stuff. But anyways, they make them with, different cities and the colors that those cities wear in those particular sports. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to open myself up to any trademark copyright potential stuff. But the big thing with that company is that they don't do a whole lot of football, basketball, or hockey ones that are city specific. Well, we've got that, and we can do any city on there. If you want one that says Frisco and is in the colors that Frisco wears, we can do that. If you want one that's in, I don't know, Spokane in the colors they wear, we can do that. We might be able to do college teams as well. So, college cities, college names, all that kind of stuff on there too. So, if that's something that interests you, get with me about that. We're selling them for 25 cards for $5 plus shipping. That is half the price of that other company that makes them. So if you buy those and you want a cheaper way, contact us. Shoot us an email about it, or shoot me an email directly. It's dfwgrapher@gmail.com. Let me know what you'd be interested in, what cities, what sports, anything like that. And like I said, we're doing this for baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. I might even be able to do freaking lacrosse if I wanted to, or something like that. I mean, if there's another sport you want to do and you want to graph, let me know. We'll see what we can come up with. It's going to be $5 for 25 cards on that. So if you're interested, shoot me an email, dfwgrapher@gmail.com. We'll get those ordered up. Please, though, have your orders in by sometime this week. I'm going to try to get them all ordered up on November 10th is my absolute drop-dead date to have these in. So get with me by Sunday, November 9th to get your orders in if you'd like to place an order for some Sig Spot cards. Just get on there. So, yeah, I've got a few people who have already bought some, and hopefully we'll get some more out of this. So you got about a week to get those in. Aside from that, it's been kind of a light month here in October for me on the collectibles front. I made a few purchases and trades of some 2021 Topps Heritage and Topps Heritage Minors editions. I actually had set a goal in 2024 of getting through 175 cards signed in the Topps Heritage Minors set. And I came up a few short on it that year. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll probably hit that this year. Well, it took me all the way until this past month to finally get to that 175, but I finally am there. It's a 220 card set, so 175, closing in on that. I've got less than 45 to go on it, but adding a few there through some little trading here and there. And sending a few more private signings, which I will talk a little bit about some of those. I got a couple of them back already, and we'll mention a few of them that I'm sending to once we get into some upcoming signings. The big one that I got into, there's a Joe Torre one. I have had his rookie card here for a while as part of my dad's collection when he was a kid, and I carried it with me the last two spring trainings, hoping I might see him out there, and the two times he was spotted in Arizona was after I had already left, so missed out on him there. I didn't want to take a chance of trying to send it free via mail, so when I saw there was a signing, I'm like, all right, we'll get in on that, and so hopefully we'll have that back before the December episode, and we can talk a little bit about that, and like I said, we'll mention some other ones I'm sending off to coming up here in a few moments. Aaron! An eventful month for you. An eventful month for you. I don't want to say uneventful, but an eventful month for you, it appears.
Yeah, mostly on things that do not involve cards and through the mailing. Yeah, so it was a little bit of a crazy month for me. I was so as far as the hobby is concerned, which is what everybody only cares about probably that's going on in my life. Yeah, there hasn't really been a whole lot. In fact, up until like 2 days ago, I hadn't bought a single card in over a month, other than the ones that we needed for the celebrity game that we went to. And so yeah, I've been mostly focused on the gym. I'm having to do a lot of stuff to overhaul the way that we do gymnastics and all of that, and get some stuff together and focus on making a little money in this economy. So that has taken a lot of my time. And also, I will mention, without too much detail, that I also ended up getting a girlfriend about 2 weeks ago. So it's been quite some time. I know. I see the shocked look on your face, or you've known me a long time.
Hell has frozen over. Oh my God. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, yes. And so, there's been a lot of change in my life trying to, do the gym stuff, and then also, get her incorporated, into my life. And so, but it's been good. Everything's going in the right direction. It's just taking a little bit of elbow grease with all of that to kind of keep everything the way that I need it to be. But 2 days ago, probably the only card that I will talk about today. I did end up buying a Michael Young 1/1. I believe it's the yellow printing plate from 2006 Flair. So yeah, I do have one Michael Young card to talk about, and I'm gonna get on some of this, so I have more cards to talk about when we wrap 2026 here in about a month or so, whatever year it is.
like, it's one of those years. It's somewhere in the 20 whatever. It all kind of runs together. I completely forgot to mention that we did, because we were talking about it upcoming last week or last month when we were on the show there last. But we had that celebrity softball game that, yeah, I'd completely forgotten about, because I mean, it's been almost exactly a month since we did that there. But a little tougher this year, with the fuller netting. It's not quite all the way to pole there in Frisco, but they've extended it down further, and yeah, it made things a little tougher this year than it had been in previous years, but it seems like we still did all right with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a slog for some of the guys, but yeah, I mean, most of them were willing signers. I don't think T.O. touched a pin the whole time he was there.
Never does.
But yeah, I mean, we got some good ones. Austin Jackson. I was excited to get Neil Smith. He kind of had me running around for a little bit trying to get him, but I was eventually successful. Mark Clayton was there. I'm trying to think who else. Drake Britton. My life has been so crazy that I just put those cards up yesterday. Like I just put them all in my in my collection. They've been sitting in a stack. Those in the last Frisco one that we did. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a slog for me the last month and a half or so. But yeah, so it's always good to get autographs, and I had a good time hanging out with you guys. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting autographs, this month we have Collector's Corner. Wade Bute joins us to talk a little about his collection. He is an autograph collector across multiple sports. He is in Wisconsin. And so we got him on the show here. He's had some really great stuff to talk about. If you follow him on Instagram, you've seen some of his successes this year have come from some surprising ones there that have signed for him. But he talks a little about, how he's able to get some of those guys and just all the stuff that he collects. And we'll talk about to him here upcoming in a little bit. But first, before we get to that, we, of course, have all of our regular segments. Baker's Dozen, where we talk about any kind of upcoming new card releases, some upcoming signings, all that kind of fun stuff. Hobby Happenings with our new sponsor, Wanna Shuffle, where we're going to talk to Belinda Wheeler from Wanna Shuffle, and we'll cover some upcoming card shows as well. As I said, we'll get into Collector's Corner with Wade Bute, followed by Making the Grade, covering all things from grading in the hobby. We've got the stamp of approval here, where Aaron and I give our thumbs up to just about anything from the previous month. Could be anything that comes to mind for that. It might be something sports and collectibles related. It might not be. We also have the Vern Rapp Minute, covering deaths in the world of sports, celebrity, music, movies, politics. Any good signers that we know of that have passed away, we will let you know about those. And, of course, the main reason why this show exists, it is our TTM returns. If you would like to contact us, Aaron, what is the email address here for our show?
That is ttmcast@yahoo.com.
So there you go. Questions, comments, anything like that, shoot them our way, and we will try to get them answered as best we can for you. If you'd like to contact me directly, including if you'd like to buy some of those great Sig Spot cards, email me at dfwgrapher@gmail.com. Follow me on social media at dfwgrapher as well. And, of course, my website is dfwgrapher.com. Aaron, where can the people follow you at?
So it's all on Instagram. I think I'm caught up on the Eternal Graphing Tour one now. Like we are set. So we are all ready for 2026. Yeah. And so the Eternal Graphing Tour, that is the one where you can follow my quest to visit every affiliated ballpark in the United States and Canada. There are underscores in between each of those words. If you want to follow like a little bit more of my actual cards instead of the tour, my Michael Young collection, all that good stuff. You can follow me at Aaron Sports Card Explosion. And that is Aaron, Arron. I've made enough jokes about why my name is spelled that way, but that's it. So check it out.
There we go. If you don't follow us yet, do so. Change that. Get that done right now. Let's move on now to start up this show with Baker's Dozen.
Baker's Dozen, sponsored by SportsCollectorsDaily.com.
Smart collectors turn to Sports Collectors Daily to stay up to date. From new releases to incredible collections hitting the auction block, news from inside the business of sports collectibles, and much more, Sports Collectors Daily has it, all with no subscription cost. SC Daily also delivers a live look at the most watched sports card auctions on eBay for every sport. Sign up to get the headlines in your email for free, or just visit the website whenever you like. With 16,000 stories in the archive going back 16 years, there is always plenty to read at SportsCollectorsDaily.com.
Baker's Dozen is a summary of a lot of sports collectibles news. We try to cover anything with any kind of upcoming releases that would help out TTMers. Anything about some upcoming signings for anybody who wants to get in on those, some affordable signings as well. We'll try to keep it to ones that start at $30 and under. And of course, I want to remind you to check out SportsCollectorsDaily.com. They've been a big supporter of TTM Cast since day one. And I write an approximately weekly article for them as well, covering anything I get back in the mailbox. Some other TTM topics as well. This past week, I talked about Fleer sets because it was actually a post made by past pros recently. They said they had some signed 94 Fleer cards up in their store. And they talk about how great those are for signing. And I said, Fleer has a long history of having some really good sets for signing. And so I kind of did a little write up on some of my 5 favorite sets of 80s and 90s Fleer for getting signed. So go and check that out. I think this next month I'm going to do the same thing, but with Donruss this time. And we'll do some others in the next few weeks with Score, Upper Deck, and Tops. And we'll try to get into some other sports there as well. But once again, that's SportsCollectorsDaily.com. Check out my articles there and check out all the other great articles on that website as well. I want to remind you again, we've got the TTM Cast store up at ttmcast.com. Click on the store in the top banner. If you see some of those shirts that we're going to have people rocking here that contributed, hey, guess what? You can buy your own shirts there as well. We've got a few different t-shirts. We've got a hoodie up there. We've got hats. We've got water bottles. We've got an accessory pouch to keep all of your pens in for graphing. Anything like that. Cool stuff on there at ttmcast.com. Click on the store in the top banner. Let's take a look at some upcoming releases that we've got here coming in through the month of November. A couple products that got pushed back as well. We mentioned in October, pushed back in November. We'll cover those as well. First off, we got some hockey to talk about, and that's the 2025-26 Upper Deck Detroit Red Wings Centennial Box Set. That is going to be coming out this week on November the 5th. Each box will have 105 cards in it. That is a 100-card base set, along with 5 inserts or parallels of the Detroit Red Wings' 100-year history. Pre-sale price on that right now is running at $50.
And we also have 2025 Topps Update Baseball, which is coming out on November the 12th. That was originally scheduled for October the 15th. In the hobby version, you will get 12 cards per pack. You'll get 20 packs per box, 1 auto or relic, and plus 1 promo pack per box. And the pre-sale price for that is $200. In the jumbo version, you'll get 40 cards per pack, 10 packs per box, 1 auto, 2 relics, and 2 promo packs per box. And the pre-sale price for that is $350.
If you're a football collector, they've got the Donruss Football Factory set coming out the same day. That'll be November 12th as well. In those factory sets, you're going to get 410 cards. That is a 405-card base set, but also 5 additional Optic Rated Rookie Preview Hollows. So some cool stuff in there, especially if you're a collector of any of this year's rookies. Pre-sale price on that set, only $60.
And also we have, fun fact, the only real wax that I break every year is Topps Pro Debut. And, for all the minor league graphing we do. And so we've got 2025 Topps Pro Debut Baseball, which drops on November 12th. And the jumbo version of that product will have 24 cards per pack and 6 packs per box. You'll get the usual 4 autos, and you'll also get 1 Chrome Variation X-Fractor. And the pre-sale price for that is considerably more expensive than in previous years. That is $200 per box.
Yeah, I haven't seen a hobby version of that yet, so I don't know what the breakdown is there, and I'm kind of wondering, okay, are they only doing jumbo on it, which kind of sucks, because, I mean, that's a little bit to pay right there for it.
Right. Normally it's like, I normally, it's normally around whatever, 75, 80, 90 maybe dollars a box, but it's like, man, $200. It's getting expensive up in here.
That's why I decided, like, for all my spring training stuff, I'm just going to buy a hand collated set of every product rather than try to break any boxes or anything like that. It's just runs a little bit cheaper that way, that's for sure. Lastly, we're going to take a look at some Panini Prism Racing. This is another one that got pushed back a bit. It was originally set to come out on October 25th. We mentioned it last month. Now it's going to be November 19th on that. All the details, though, from last month are exactly the same. 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box. That's 144 cards per box. You'll get 3 autos, 22 Prism parallels, and 12 inserts. Pre-sale price, $135. And I will say, if you're not TTMing auto racing, you're missing out. There are some very, very good signers in there, and that product is, I mean, that's under $1 a card right there, which is about as good as you're going to find these days. We got some upcoming signings here from several different companies and individuals that are running these, and we're trying to keep it to any that are in December and start at under $30. So keep it affordable for the collectors out there. But Silverback Sports is one of the big ones we always try to promote on there. They can be found at silverbacksports.net. December 1st, they have Mike Lavalier and Dave Lapointe, a couple of former Cardinals and Pirates. Both guys played for both of them. I think both played for the White Sox as well, if I remember right. But each of those guys starts at $12 per sig on cards. Coming up on December 6th, they will have Jeff Rabelais for $12 and Scott Spezio for $15.
And then we have Jeff Carterud, who is going to have former Mets player Wally Backman going on December the 6th. That signing starts for $12. And for more information about that, you can check JB Autos. I got a little dyslexic there for a second. JB Autos on SCN.
Got Autographs Inc. right here in the Dallas area. You can find them online at theautographsinc.com. That is Inc. with a K, not as in incorporated. They're going to have Larry Smith on the December the 5th, Scott Laidlaw on December the 13th, and Percy Howard on December the 13th. It's a good one for those of you who work on that 1990 Pro Set Super Bowl Superman set, as he has a card in there featuring his only career catch, which came in a Super Bowl. I believe, if I remember, I didn't write the prices down on these, but I believe Larry Smith and Percy Howard are both running at around $7 or $8 each to start, and Laidlaw maybe around like 10 or so. It's very affordable on those. Both, all three of those guys are well under $20 for their starting price. So if you need those guys, check out the Autographs Inc. INK.com.
And then Hawkman Sports is going to have former Tampa Bay Devil Ray. That's always good to get Devil Rays, guys. Delmon Young on December the 1st. And that signing will begin at $25 per item. And for more information about that, you can check out hawkmansports.com.
Tom Orr has a couple guys coming up later on this month. You can follow him on Twitter at Atomic with 2 M's, ATOMMIC Sports. He's got Rudy Law on December the 13th for $12. And on December the 14th, he's got Bill Russell signing for $15. That's a signing I'm getting in on there for my 72 set. So once again, that is Tom Orr at Atomic 2 M's Sports on Twitter.
I like it. It's so atomic they needed the extra M.
Absolutely.
Then we have our friends at Perry Sports Legends. Will have former Arizona Diamondback and master of the 3 true outcomes, Mark Reynolds, on December the 16th. That signing will start at $15 per item. And for more information about that, you can check out perrysportslegends.com.
Another one from sportscollectors.net, Kevin Henninger has the SCN name of Just Crazy. He's got Roger McDowell coming on December the 14th. I actually just did a signing with him with Tony Armas that I'll hopefully be getting back here soon. I think he just did it this past weekend. But Roger McDowell, as I said, is going to be there on December 14th, $15 for him. So once again, that is with Just Crazy is the screen name on SCN.
And then we have the Wilder side of sports is going to have a bunch of people. So bear with me while I go through these. They're going to all be on December the 13th. They will have Drew Pearson starting at $10, Ty Lawson starting also at $10, and Rudy Rudiger starting at $10. Then if you want a little bit more expensive option, they will have Doc Gooden, who will be signing for $15, and Jose Canseco for $20. Or the ever controversial John Rocker will also be signing for them for $10 per item. And so for more information about that, you can check out wildersideofsports.com.
Another guy that I've gotten involved in several signings with is Jamie Bly. Got a cat who just decided to go right across me there. Our 15-year-old cat, Callie, decided, hey, you need to scratch my head right now. So, yeah, she's gone off elsewhere now. But, all right, Jamie Bly, good guy. Dealt with him on a number of occasions for some signings. I think there was one that I got him from earlier this year. I think it was the Lloyd Mosby signing that I got him with him. But he's got a whole bunch. He's going to have a very busy first week of December here. On December 6th, he's got Dwight Smith, as in the football Dwight Smith, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive back. You're going to have Casey Weldon and Troy Hambrick, each of those guys at $12 each for the starting price. Peter Warwick, former wide receiver for the Bengals and Florida State, $15 an item, starting cost there. A couple guys from the baseball world in Matt Williams and Brett Phillips, each $20. Add up to $25 of football players there in Jimmy Giles and Dante Culpepper, $25 each on all of those guys. Again, that is December 6th on those. And for you basketball collectors, December 7th, he's got Otis Birdsong for $15 and Sidney Moncrief for $25. You can find Jamie on SCN, sportscollectors.net, with the screen name of Jamie Bly, B-L-Y-E.
And then we have Santiago de Leon, who's going to have several players signing on December the 14th. He's going to have Herman Jimenez for $8 per item. Luis Cessa also for $8. Orlando Sanchez for $8 as well. And then for a little bit more pricey, you've got Carlos Lopez at $12, Vicente Romo at $12, and Horacio Pena also for $12. And again, all of those signings are going on December 14th. And for more information about that, you can check out SCN, and the name is De Leon, all one word, 210372.
And just to clarify, that is Orlando Sanchez, the former catcher, not Orlando Sanchez, the former Wichita Falls TV sports news anchor. So just a butler.
What was that something that needed to be clarified?
No, but I remember working with Orlando when I was working with the Wildcats there, and I sent a picture of an Orlando Sanchez card to him, and I'm like, dude, I didn't know you played, and he thought that was pretty funny. So, yeah, had to throw that in there. I'm actually getting in on his Romo and Pena signings here, because I need them on the 72 set there as well.
Nice.
So once again, especially check out sportscollectors.net for more signers. Like I said, this is just keeping it to guys that are $30 and less. If you're willing to spend a little bit more, there's some other big names out there that'll be signing throughout the month of December. And if you have multiple cards you need for some of these guys, a lot of these people offer bulk discounts. I know with that Jose Canseco signing, it starts at $20, but if you need 5 or more, they're knocking it down to $12 a card. So if you're getting 3 cards or more, you might as well throw in a 4th and a 5th one, because it's going to basically get them for free on that, essentially. So check that out, sportscollectors.net. Next up, we've got a new sponsor in Wanna Shuffle, who is joining us for Hobby Happenings.
You heard that right. It's time for Hobby Happenings. Hobby Happenings is proudly sponsored by Wanna Shuffle, the free monthly autograph trading service. For more information, check out Wanna Shuffle on Instagram, Facebook, or at wannashuffle.com.
Hobby Happenings now sponsored by Wanna Shuffle. We'll talk to Belinda Wheeler right now and find out what she's been doing here with all of that, and kind of just get an update as to how things are rolling there and how much they have grown here in the last couple of years since she started that up. So let's take it away here with Belinda Wheeler from Wanna Shuffle. All right, well, we are here in Hobby Happenings with our brand new sponsor, Wanna Shuffle. Belinda Wheeler here joining us to talk a little bit about that. We're going to get her on every episode here for some updates as to how things are going for the month. So great to have you on here. Of course, we had you on about a year or so ago, but just for those who weren't around for that interview a year ago, tell us a little bit about the background of Wanna Shovel. How'd you get started in it, and anything related to that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much, Drew, and so grateful to be on the show again. So, yes, for people who are not familiar with Wanna Shuffle, it's essentially a free monthly autograph swapping service. So what's involved with that is people can send in any autograph on a manufactured sports card. So, like, Topps Upper Deck, Panini, things of that nature. And it can be a certified auto. It can be an auto that someone received in person, or it can be a through the mail autograph that someone has received. And what they do is they send that card and a stamped self-addressed envelope to Wanna Shuffle at P.O. Box 68, Cordova, South Carolina, 29039. And I also encourage people to send in a little note with their submission, kind of letting me know, like what kind of sports they're interested in, or teams, or non-sports, celebrities or things of that nature, just kind of giving me a chance to kind of see, when returning or trading a card with someone else who submits that month, maybe I can try to fill, one of their, like their PC items, personal collection, or something like that. So it's been going great, and really excited to be sponsoring TTM Cast.
Yeah. I've been slacking a bit. I've only gotten on 2 in the last year, but I did get mine in for October at least. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I get out of there. But it seems like things have really grown in the last year for you, because I know that you were on TTM Cast about a year ago. It seems like that gave you a boost, and then you're on the Card Life here fairly recently, getting to do your national TV debut there and everything. And it seemed like it exploded after that, because I remember seeing something like you had like 2 boxes to take down to the post office after that.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's been really great. So I'm coming up on 2 years with Wanna Shuffle. And when I first started, it was just doing, a little post on Instagram. We were averaging around like 10 to 15 a month. And that was very exciting for me, because I had no idea how this was going to go. And then, yes, with doing the spot on TTM Cast and trying to do a bit more on Instagram, and then creating a Facebook account, we were kind of averaging around like 50 cards a month, which was also, extremely exciting. And we're getting, submissions from all around the country. We were getting Puerto Rico, Canada, even got one from England, which was really exciting. And then, of course, this year, being able to be on the Card Life was just phenomenal. And, doing the spot, recording it, and then having it, play. I think they had it going for about a month or two exclusively on TV, and it's syndicated on all sorts of channels and everything before and after a Major League Baseball game was really huge. And then once it's been appeared, on cable, then it goes to their YouTube channel. So then everyone in the world can see it at any time. Don't have to have, cable or anything like that. And that has been really amazing too. So yeah, at the moment I'm averaging close to, it's around 150, 160 submissions a month. And that's all sports. There's a few non-sports that come in, but we get all the sports, and it's just been really amazing.
Wow. Do you have an exact total yet of how many were sent in for October? Because I know we're here on November 1st recording this, so right at the end of the month, I'm sure the shuffle is going to take place here probably this weekend or something like that. But how many total did you get in for the month of October on it?
Yeah, so for the month of October, we got 154 in, so which is really exciting. And yes, I am in the process of finalizing all the shuffle trades like right now with the cards. And I did see your submission there, Drew. So thank you so much for supporting. But no, it's really great, and I'll definitely be excited to give updates to listeners as we move forward and kind of see how much further it grows. Yep.
Nice. Were there any really cool items that came in this month? Any like oddball stuff that's like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this before, or anything like that you want to highlight?
Yeah, not necessarily oddball stuff that came in this month, but there was one that was, there's a bunch that were really cool, but one I can mention, Rod Carew, who is a Major League Hall of Famer. In 1991, he played for the Twins and Angels. It was a really cool card, and he, inscribed, Hall of Fame in his year. But what also made it really special was there was the person actually talked about, they knew Rod personally. And,
Oh.
you know, when he came over to the States, they became friends, and he actually traveled with him to his Hall of Fame induction. So, you know, yes, the card was cool. Yes, it's a Hall of Famer, and that's just really awesome. But the story, you know, that the person who submitted, you know, the card was also really fascinating to be. So again, that's one of the things, and I think I've talked about it, you know, with TTM Cast, and also the card life, that card community, really engaging with the card community has been amazing. So the, you know, the backstories and just, you know, the little notes that everyone sends in addition to these awesome cards. You know, we often get Hall of Famers from different sports like NASCAR, NFL, you know, Roger Craig, Richard Petty for NASCAR, Robert Parrish for NBA, you know, so we do get some, you know, some pretty awesome, you know, Hall of Fame players there. But then, you know, you've got, you know, some people, what was one of the guys that came in recently, Ken Stills, who played for the Vikings, who, you know, I didn't know Ken Stills. You know, I was in Australia when he was playing, I think, football. And, you know, so I looked him up, and on his card, he actually wrote "Go Vikings." So he did some of his career, was it with the Lions or another team? And I think he only did 1 or 2 years with the Vikings. But, you know, I was like, this card will be amazing for a Vikings fan because, you know, it was a great player. You know, he didn't do very long with the Vikings, but the inscription of, you know, "Go Vikes" on there too, I was like, that's really neat. So even if it's not, you know, some huge, you know, like player, there's just, yeah, it's just really great, Drew. I really enjoy it.
Maybe that'll encourage more people to send some notes along with their stuff too, as well. Because I mean, that's one of the things that I know that Les Wolf has talked about too. He loves hearing the stories behind autographs and where they came from and all that too. So hopefully others enjoy that too. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely one thing I do encourage. You know, like some people, when they send in their submissions, you know, they put their Instagram handle or other social media handle and, you know, maybe a little note like, hey, I got this at spring training, you know, in 87, or I got another card recently and someone was like, you know, I've enjoyed this card for like 10 or 15 years. I used to follow this team, but now I'm actually following another team. Maybe someone else will enjoy it. So it's been really awesome.
Have there been any wants from people you've had trouble filling at all? Like anybody who kind of collects a team that might not be the most popular, you don't see a whole lot of stuff from, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Just recently, for the first time, I actually put a bit of a shout out on Instagram and Facebook. And there's been a couple of young kids who've been submitting for the last couple of months, because it is once a month that they submit. And they're very big into soccer. And they, you know, every month they're like, you know, we're happy to take anything, but boy, if you get soccer, you know, let me know. And there was another 1 or 2 kids with Formula One and IndyCar and wrestling, you know, so like some of the, you know, non-traditional big sports. So, you know, I put a call out for that. And we got a few of them kind of trickling in this month, which will be great. So I'll actually be able to fill those, which is really exciting. Again, nothing's guaranteed with Wanna Shuffle, but, you know, like I really try to kind of fill people's PCs, and particularly for the kids as well. I'm just like, oh man, let's try to see if we can do something. So that's been really good. And then also there were a couple of teams that I did the call out. Detroit Lions, there's a couple of kids that were interested in Detroit Lions, and I hope I don't get this wrong. Is it the Red Wings in Detroit for hockey?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yep.
Thank you. Oh, I'm glad I didn't mess that up. But yeah, so some kids that were also Detroit fans, and they were like, you know, Red Wings are my favorite. Or there was another one who was like the New York Islanders. They're really into like hockey. So, you know, I did a little bit of a call out with that too. So definitely super grateful to the community. You know, they've answered that kind of call for me in the short term. And I try, and this is one thing that I'm really excited about with the sponsorship as well. You know, like when we get on, you know, I can kind of let people know that, hey, you know, this is one that's really needed or whatever. But people can also reach out to me on, you know, Instagram and Facebook with Wanna Shuffle as well. And, you know, ask like, hey, is there something that, you know, people are, you know, requesting that you can't kind of fill? So the community's been amazing.
Well, I'm glad to know soccer's in need. So now for November, I can go digging through my indoor soccer archives here. So I've got a lot from there, and I can toss in some of those. So that'll hopefully that'll help somebody out there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So every month you also have some bonus items that sometimes go into there. What can you tell us for October's ones? And do you want to give us a preview yet of the November ones? Or are we gonna kind of just let everyone have to wait on those ones?
Oh yeah, no, happy to actually share that with you. So for November, we're actually going to be doing a Wanna Shuffle t-shirt and a Wanna Shuffle sticker. Never done the merch before as part of the giveaway. So very excited about that. Usually like when I first started to do the bonus giveaways, it was just cards that I had, in my collection. And as you know, again, we're almost 2 years now with Wanna Shuffle. So people have been actually volunteering and, sending in like, hey, I've got this extra card. I think it would be great, for Wanna Shuffle. So please, feel free to put it for the bonus, which has been really good too. So now I can actually tag other people, so that they can kind of help build their following as well. So for the October one, is a from Bigfoot, one of my buddies. He donated a Ronnie Martin Royals and Bill Pichelle Royals Topps 1980 autograph. It's a dual autograph card. He donated that. From my collection, I donated a tennis card. We're starting to get, again, trying to expand so that people know it's not just baseball or football or, stuff like that. So a Carlos Gimeno Valero tennis card. And then we got a donated card anonymously, a Corton Sutton authorized certified Broncos 2021 Panini Prestige Football card that was donated as well. And then I popped in a Wanna Shuffle sticker. So someone this month for October, when I get these out the door, it'll either be Sunday or Monday, they'll go out the door. Someone is going to get an extra surprise with their traditional monthly trade. They're going to see all these extra bonus cards and be super excited. So that's a nice little extra thing that for the community that seems to be going over really well.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. And I love knowing that you're doing merch and everything there too. I'll have to make sure I get a shirt to wear to the National this year. So I will definitely be getting on there here very soon.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm going to be getting a I had the t-shirt from TTM Cast, but I'm going to be getting a hoodie soon too. So I'm very excited about that. Maybe we could do a cross collaboration or something sometime too, where we could give away a TTM some merch and that as well, because I really appreciate everything that you guys have been doing with TTM Cast, and it's just really great.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's been fun to work on and everything, and we're still waiting on the hoodie to get shipped, but it should hopefully be here sometime this week. We'll get it to you. Yep. It'll be before Thanksgiving. I can at least tell you that much.
Yes, so. No worries. Well, and I'm in South Carolina too, so it hasn't gotten ridiculously cold here yet. Not that it gets super cold anyways, but very excited. It's anywhere I can kind of support TTM Cast and the card community is always awesome.
Absolutely. Well, once again, if you can just give a plug real quick up to where everyone can follow you at on social media and such, and one more reading there of the address to make sure people can get theirs sent in.
Yeah, sure. So the big one for me is Instagram, and it's just Wanna WANNA_shuffle. And then Facebook is just Wanna Shuffle, and I do have wannashuffle.com. I do actually have a website for it, but I'm not as good with the messages getting back. It takes me a little bit longer. Instagram, I'm usually that day I can respond. But yeah, that's definitely ways that people can get a hold of me. And then again, yes, if people do want to send in, it's once a month. And it's Wanna Shuffle, P.O. Box 68, Cordova, South Carolina 29039.
There you go. So make sure you get yours in for the month of November, and of course, post up and let us know what you get back whenever you send those in as well. Whenever you get your responses, I know I love seeing them on other people's feeds. I try to put mine up whenever I get them. So hopefully we'll see a lot of them online there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Drew.
Absolutely. Once again, that is Belinda Wheeler from Wanna Shuffle, the new sponsor of Hobby Happenings. Big thanks once again to Belinda for joining us here in Hobby Happenings, as she is the official sponsor now with Wanna Shuffle for our Hobby Happenings portion. And now, let's take a look at some upcoming shows. We've got a lot of stuff going on all over the country here throughout November. Starting off with down in Florida, we've got the Palm Beach show, November 7th through the 9th. It's going to be at the Palm Beach County Convention Center down in Palm Beach, Florida. $10 admission cost on there. They've got 12 signers coming in, including Willis McGahee, Antoine Walker, and Dontrell Willis. You can find out more about them at palmbeachcardshow.org.
And we've also got the Arizona State Show. Wow, it's not often that we get shows from Arizona. And that is going to be going on November 7th through the 9th. at the Phoenix Convention Center. Admission there is going to be $15, and they will have 4 signers, including former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward and former Diamondback Jake Lamb. For more information about that, you can check out Instagram for Arizona State Show. And that is all one word.
If you're over in Tennessee, we've got the big sports show going on in Knoxville. That'll be at the World's Fair Exhibition Hall. You might be able to park under the Sun Sphere. Not sure. Simpsons joke for anyone who didn't get that. But admission's $15 in there. They've got 10 signers there, including Earl Campbell and Dwight Gooden, both who will be there, along with several others. Check out bigsportshow.com for more information.
And then we also, like clockwork, have the Dedham Show that's going on. It's going on November the 9th at the Holiday Inn in Dedham, Massachusetts. Admission there is a very reasonable $3. And they will have Andy Moog, Reggie Lemelin, and Derek Sanderson signing there. For more information about that, you can check out cardboardpromotions.com.
Well, if you want a whole lot of stuff to do on November 9th, after you check out the Dedham Show, go over to the Methuen Show. That's also on November 9th at the VFW Hall number 8349 in Methuen, Massachusetts. $2 admission cost there. So, I mean, you can get into 2 shows for $5 total. That's pretty darn good right there. Rick Middleton, Nifty Middleton, will be signing there for $15. You can find out more info about the Methuen Show at cardshows.net.
And then we also have the big event EXS, which will be going on November the 15th at Suffolk CU Arena in Brentwood, New York. Admission there is $30, and they will have 68 signers there, mostly in wrestling. That's a legit number of signers to be at one event. And for more information about that, you can check out the aptly named bigeventny.com.
Meanwhile, over in the Midwest on November 16th, we have the Chicago Card Show. They'll be over at the Bridgeview, Illinois Community Center. Admission is $1. You can't get much better than that. Joey Cora and Lance Johnson will be signing there, $25 each on them. If you want more info on that Chicago Card Show, go and check out MidwestSportsBuffet.com.
And if you're in Chicago and you haven't got enough cards by the time that show ends, you can also check out the Chicago Sports Spectacular, which will be going on November the 21st through the 24th at Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Admission there will be $20, and they will have 11 more signers, including Cubs great Anthony Rizzo. Greats, I suppose, Anthony Rizzo and Jason Hayward. Both of those guys were on the 2016 curse-busting team, I believe. And for more information about that, you can check out chicagosportspectacular.com.
Sore subject, but yes, they were on that team.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, down in Florida, we've got Slam Down coming on November the 23rd. It'll be at the Embassy Suites in Orlando. $20 admission fee on that one, and another wrestling show that has a ton of signers. 18 that'll be there. It's not quite the 68 of the New York show, but 18 signers from TNA Wrestling. For those of you who are collectors of that particular, I don't know what's really called, agency, that particular league, that particular card, I don't know, but whatever they are. What's that?
Promotion.
There you go. Yeah, that particular promotion. There we go. So if you're into TNA Wrestling, check out Slamdown November 23rd. SlamdownORL.com is the website for more info on that.
And then we also have the Troy Show, which is going on November the 29th at Balkan American Community Center. Is that community? Calm? Okay.
Yeah, it's community.
Okay, I'll just make it sure. Not communications. I'll just make it say.
It's communications. It's not communications. It's not communism. It is community.
Right. We need to. I was just making sure I'm giving out correct information. So at Balkan American Community Center in Troy, Michigan, admission beats the $1 because this show is free, and they will have Peter Forsberg signing there for the very interesting price of $79. And for more information about that, you can contact SNF Sports Cards for more information.
Meanwhile, if you're over in Connecticut, we've got the Bristol show. November 29th at the Doubletree Hotel in Bristol, Connecticut. Wave to ESPN's headquarters on your way by. Couldn't find any admission price info. I believe it might be free admission. Not really 100% certain on that, so please don't quote me there. But if you need more information, we'll talk about that in a second. But you can find Brian Propp and Keith Primo both signing there. Of course, those guys both members of the Hartford Whalers and the Philadelphia Flyers at points in their careers. If you want more info on the Bristol show, go on Facebook to check out Ideal Cards and Memorabilia, and they have all the info right there.
And then we have our favorite punny card show, and that is the Mainly Card Show that is going on November the 30th at the Fraternal Lodge number 55 in Alfred, Maine. Admission there is also free. So listen, there's no reason not to show up to these card shows, all right? It's like you get in for free, get it done. Go get all the cards that you can get. They will have Ken Hodge Jr. signing there. And for more information about that, you can check out Facebook, and that is under Mainly Card Shows.
Don't forget the E in Mainly, because it is, as we said, a pun on the state name. Many of these shows will offer mail-in signings as well, so if you can't get out to them, contact them, and maybe you can get your stuff sent off to them. You can also visit cravetheauto.com for more information about upcoming shows and signings all over the country. With that, let's go ahead and move on into Collector's Corner.
And now it's time for Collector's Corner. Let's hear from our collector this week.
This month on Collector's Corner, we're joined by Wade Bute of Wisconsin. He's had some big names returned to him via mail here fairly recently. He said his success rate is pretty low overall, but he's gotten some big names in there. So hear what he has to say on there, how he's gone about getting them, who he's gotten back. He also does some in-person graphing as well, and we talk a little about his displays he has set up at home and some of the stuff that he shows off there. So here's Collector's Corner with Wade Bute. This is Collector's Corner here in the for our November episode of TTM Cast. We are joined by collector Wade Bute. And Wade, it is great having you on the show. I know we talked about trying to get you on a few times here, and finally everything lines up to be able to get you on here. So glad to have you here. Just tell us where are you from and how did you get into collecting autographs to begin with?
Yeah, I'm from a small town in Illinois, Sycamore. It's 60 miles west of Chicago. Always was big into cards, big into baseball as a 9-year-old. The Cubs kind of went on an epic run and got to watch, Steve Stone and Harry Carey call the games. And It was a good time to be alive. And cards were big. And I don't know. I didn't grow up with much resources or funds. So the through the mail autograph thing was kind of a way to enhance my collection and come into some things that had a little wow factor, and got into it when I was got into cards really heavy, probably 89. And I think the first pack of cards I ever opened was an 85 Topps cello pack, and fanned through those enough to ruin them. And I've always been a heavy handler of my cards. So I think like the sorting aspect of TTM and, kind of picking out things that you think would look good signed and just running with it has been fun. But
do you remember who the first one you ever mailed to was?
Not necessarily mailed to. I remember the first one that came back, and it was Heathcliff Slocum. He was a great baseball name. But those early 90s had a wealth of them. I try to canvas a lot of sports, and got back from Walter Payton, Muhammad Ali, Larry Bird, O.J. Simpson, mailed from Brentwood a couple days before the Bronco chase. It was
wow.
It was just fun stuff, like good stories to tell. And I had a couple friends in the neighborhood, babysitters, people that would do the hobby alike. And I think I first started just sending to the stadiums, care of the team through the Beckett address list. And I don't really remember the name of the first book, but I came into one of those in probably the early 90s. And, I'd ask for stamps for Christmas and birthdays. And, it was really, I was always pre-sorted, ready to go before the stamps got in my possession. And
Nice.
yeah, I'd trade people duplicates for stamps and, cards and different things. But I got kind of out of the hobby a little bit when I was finishing college and starting my career. And a couple years into my career, I think offline I mentioned came into a box of cost-effective 83 Tops baseball and had to make a run at Sandberg and Boggs in the early 2000s. And somewhere about, I don't know, 13 or so years ago, my dad called me when I was living out west, just says, Wade, you got something in the mail here. And I probably hadn't mailed anything out from his house since I was 13 or so. I'm 45 now. So, age 32 or whatever, the phone rings and Neon Dion Primetime signed 1990 Don Russ personalized is just kind of, gave me this, I guess, ambition or goal to kind of like one day decorate, whether it's a corner or part of my house, with my nostalgia. And, that kind of got me to consider sending some more out. I think when I lived out in Nevada, I attended a Michael Jordan Invitational at Shadow Creek that was just surrounded by, some of the biggest names in sports and celebrities alike. And I was underprepared because I didn't have all my stuff with me, but, prepared enough. I got to get unpleasantly walked by. Ken Griffey Jr. passed me and my 89 Tops traded up, but got a couple on-card stuff from Ozzie Smith and Anthony Hardaway and some other guys that were there. But I've always enjoyed, the in-person training camp stuff, mostly Bears, did some Packers stuff. Used to set up shop outside the old Comiskey Park in Chicago for the opposing team coming out, and got to brush shoulders and get a ball signed from Dave Winfield, and saw Alex Rodriguez on his first major league call up, and just kind of been hooked. It's something that excites me. I like really working on like card selection, and the only set I'm working on, and I don't think I'll ever get there, 89 Tops, just from the baseball side. Great looking set, takes the signature pretty well. And as the dream of kind of decorating part of my house and my basement with my swag per se started to become more real, I was noticing some of the Facebook groups and things dedicated to the TTM, and really loaded up on heroes. Did some private signings with like Bo Jackson, not in person, but did the through the mail stuff with Canseco and Boggs and Sandberg. Probably embarrassed to say a quantity count. I give a lot of the stuff away, like when my friends' kids get into it, and I really don't sell anything. If somebody's trying to really get close to completing a set, and I've got a dozen of things. I think I sold a guy a Rick Sutcliffe Dodgers card. I'm a Cubs fan. He needed it to complete a team set, and it was just more like, hey, I wouldn't want to know that it existed and not be able to come into it kind of thing. But when I got close to getting the basement done, I found the card groups and started sending off to kind of the usual suspects, and I stopped being excited. No offense on Charlie Huff or Danny Darwin or any of those guys. Thank you very much for your signing, but I think I just I wanted like the mailbox to excite me. And I really started to notice some people getting guys that I hadn't seen people get. And Harvey's List seemed to be a theme that people were talking about. So I got my first Harvey's List last year. I don't have the stats on it. I probably only sent out a couple hundred last year. And I was thrilled. I got Javi Lopez on his 92 Bowman, and
nice.
Got a Trevor Hoffman came back around the bend earlier this year from last year. Charles Johnson came back from last year. And trying to think, Robin Ventura was not a real reliable signer, but he signed a couple nice 88, 89 and a tops and the 92 Bowman that looked great. And being from the Chicago land area, big Cubs, White Sox, Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks when they're good. I can't claim hockey like you can. I mean, I like going to a game here and there. But when I started digging deeper on Harvey's list, the new one came this year, and I think I've sent out over 100 a month for 10 months, and batting less than 200, but had some pretty nice successes come in. I don't want to be on here like rattling stuff off, but I know that that's what people are here to hear. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned just a minute ago Rick Sutcliffe, that you've gotten him here, and I have had no luck on him. I tried mailing out to him right around the time that you'd gotten one back, and I don't know. I will say my letter was typed. That might have something to do with it there, so I might try handwriting it and see next time, but yeah.
And either way, I mean, I think sometimes it's just timing. I mean, I stay pretty much to the same approach. I write a thorough letter, handwritten. I try to explain like what those cards and the era and be them as a performer, meant to me, and try to generally just describe how excited I'll be when it'll come back, and I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it's timing. You could catch somebody on a good day, catch them on a lazy weekend or something like that. I still lower my average, by sending stuff off to Bonds and Ichiro and care of the Hall of Fame. But I don't know. I guess I don't expect a high percentage. I just look forward to the excitement when it comes back. And this year's been pretty exciting. Except for the last 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, I got a response from Billy Williams with my money back in a 1965 Topps Cubs card that was unsigned. So that was a bit of a bummer, but this year,
it's better than one that I saw from a guy just posted the other day. He said, the guy sent I think it was 4 cards at $80 and got back his cards unsigned and only $20 back. It's like, yeah, that's not good, but yeah.
I saw another guy have the All-Star rookie comeback signed. So it seems like hit or miss situationally, but I was trying to look at my notes here. After the early bend of the year, I think the first like super surprise was Mattingly came back in early February with Robin Yount. A couple days later, Sutcliffe, I think, was the day before Mattingly. And I like using the Facebook pages. After that wild week in February, I started the Instagram page and was just having a little fun with posting things and trying to get things going. The first person to comment and like one of my posts was a video I had done with the 89 Topps. And it was none other than Sandberg himself, gave the like and the stay hot comment. But it was kind of exciting to get that engagement on the Instagram page. I think Christian Okoye shared one of my posts, and it was just kind of cool to get some extra connectivity that way. But
it's always fun when stuff like that happens, because I had one that I sent out a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Roger Salkeld, the former Mariners pitcher. Because I had this
one where you completed the 4.
Exactly. Yeah, I had the quad signed by the first 3. I mailed it finally off to him. Now they started signing reliably. After he signed it, he posted on his own like Facebook and Instagram feed saying, "This is only the 4th one I've ever seen he's completed." And I was like, "All right, hey, that's fine."
Yeah. No, it just adds a new element that probably didn't exist, definitely didn't exist when we started getting into the hobby, to get that like extra touch of connectivity. But the long shots have been coming in kind of I probably get 3, 4, maybe 5 a month, but got a nice 2-card response back from Adrian Beltre. two back from Barry Larkin. And I'm traditionally, unless it's like very well known that someone has a fee, like the very well posted and stated, I could be wrong, but I think some of the guys that don't need money and you put a nominal amount of money every now and then, I think that could be offensive. Like a guy's like, what, you think I'm going to do what you say because you throw me XYZ dollars? Could be just an opinion, but after Larkin, I got a Mike Sosha, Evan Longoria. I might have open the well on Mark Grace because I got him a couple times earlier this year without fees. And then I think people started just sending money and it became a common thing. But got a basketball return from Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird, and Grant Hill.
Nice.
Van Slyke, Ryan Braun, Bagwell, Dave Stewart, couple Sutcliffe, Tony Oliva from the team without a fee. Alan Trammell, Dustin Pedroia, Ellis Burke, Steve Avery, Paul O'Neill, Marquise Grissom, Dave Justice, Pete Vukovic, Ted Simmons, like kind of bounce around, but it depends. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. I sometimes laugh with like the commentary that exists on the social media, like it's so regimented, like there's only one way to do it. I think, do what keeps you sane. Do what works for you. I think people can have successes from a lot of different approaches and different times, different locations. I mean, you'll see people get a random response from Strawberry from, Mets Stadium or spring training or anything. So I'm still steady trying with like George Brett, Ozzie Smith, Greg Maddox, Oral Hershiser. I mean, some of these guys that, over the last 3 years, I feel like I've tried 3-4 times with a couple cards here and there. And it's like, I look around like, man, I don't really have much left that I'd want to get signed per se, but I have gotten a little lucky with like, I had a coworker, sell me a bunch of complete sets for like $5-10 a piece. Really loaded up on, a lot of supply. My girlfriend's uncle gave me his whole collection. I think I sent you a couple of those 72s that you were looking for just on the unsigned set stuff, but it's always nice. I'm pretty miserly, I stopped kind of when I first got back into it, I was like, hitting Amazon, you're $6 in before you can get a card to your door. And sometimes it takes 3 or 4 weeks or so. Just kind of look around, but I feel like the more outwardly I've shared my hobby with like friends, kids, and different people that have gotten into it, things come back to me. Like people are pretty giving with like really cool stuff. And, it's fun to just participate in. So throughout all that, I started listening to your podcast and became a fan and, nice. Just like sharing ideas and the successes. I don't really like sharing addresses on the big, several thousand plus Facebook groups. I think it's kind of a nasty way to say thank you to somebody who signs without a fee to blast their address in front of tens of thousands of people or so. But, yeah, I think before we went online, I was kind of sharing like, some of the negativity that can come at you from some of those pages. Early on, I knew what was true, and it just kind of motivated me to give it a solid year of sending out. And I think from looking around, I'm not going to overdo it with the same guys, but keep trying to see what's out there and keep trying to feed the Instagram page.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned before you're doing a lot of stuff for kind of display pieces around your house. Any kind of specific theme to any of those at all, or just kind of just a little bit of everything? How do you go about?
Really liked. I got a couple of those 9-card screw downs from Ultra Pro. I'm not sure if they still sell them. They got like a snap together one that's easier to use. I just don't like how it looks as much. But I've got a couple of. I think the furniture term would be like lawyers' bookshelves that, the glass opens, and I just kind of filled those with different things. They're probably more dedicated by like era or year. You know, I kind of try to collect like I'm probably sending out like 83, 84, 85, and 86 tops. I skipped 87. I know a lot of people love the wood design.
Everybody does the 87 set. I mean, if you ask around people doing certain sets, I bet 87 tops is 25% of people doing sets.
Okay. And it's a gorgeous set. You know, I just I skipped it for some reason. I've still got some, but I went to 88, and 89 is the one that I put most of my effort in. So I've kind of got like, I don't know, like the old cello pack box where I keep all the signed 89s in. And I've got like an old, I live in like an old bungalow house, all the old hardwood and stuff. So, you know, I've got an old printer's tray that kind of holds like coins, tickets. Like there's a couple slots that are big enough for cards, and fill those up, have a couple built-ins. And, you know, I've just kind of embraced it. When I first, you know, showed my girlfriend a year or so ago, like what I was working with, I thought that was going to be the end of it. Like she was going to be like, no, you're nuts. But I think she likes that, I've got a hobby. Like, you know, I'm doing what I say I'm doing. And, yeah, it's just having a good time with it.
Yeah. You mentioned some of the big names and some of the tough signers you've been able to get over the years. On the other side, are there any comparatively quote unquote easy signers that you have not gotten for any reason that you can think of you've had bad luck with?
Easily. Luis Gonzalez, it seems like that's a sure shot for most people. I write in cursive, so I have really low success with current players. I think current players are hard to get in the first place, but you know, I have to rethink whether writing to someone in a script that they might not be able to read is probably a bad idea.
That's actually when I started sending some to Europe for some hockey and soccer players. Just because of the possibility of a language barrier, that's exactly why I started typing those ones. Was all right, make it as easy as possible to read, you know, and not, because it's like if somebody were to send something to me in another language, I'd struggle with it.
Yeah.
Put a script in another language, oh, forget it. I'm just gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm lost now.
Yeah, so I think it's all a work in progress. I'm trying to think. That's a great question. Like other guys that I see a bunch of people getting back, that I think Luis Gonzalez is the first for sure that comes to mind.
Yeah, for me, it's been Ed Whitson.
Okay.
I saw a ton of them that went to him that he signed in like June or thereabouts, I think it was.
Yeah.
I sent to him in July, never saw it back. And then a whole ton of them started coming in September and October that were mailed out in like August. I'm like, what did I do wrong here? You know, between there. You know, you never know.
I mean, I'm sure you feel that. I mean, some of these large Facebook groups guys have to be getting just volume they never would have anticipated. I mean, I think I read the other day that Larry Walker, even at like a kind of significant fee, gets overwhelmed by the volume, and whether it's a permanent break or just a hiatus, I could see where people question the volume of time they're spending sitting down signing, you know, much like we think about the volume of time we spend sending out. You know, you gotta have balance in all of it.
Absolutely. We definitely got to get you on the hockey bandwagon there, man. I know you said, you know, you follow Blackhawks when they're good and stuff, but there's so many good hockey signers out there. I mean, if you're trying to, you know, get some cool names to display there's a lot of Hall of Famers that'll do it there for you.
The other thing, I'm admittedly behind on, I haven't sent any cross-border Canada, you know, just from not, you know, knowledge of, you know, how to complete it and that, but might have to do that with as hot as the Blue Jays are this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, get on that while you can. Do you just stick to cards then, TTM? And do you do any other items in person at all as well, or just totally cards?
In person, I mean, I'll, you know, bring like a helmet or a ball or something like that. Through the mail, I sent out a couple of those. Remember the old school folders, 89 tops themes? So
I have a 1988 Corey Snyder sitting right over here on the shelf next to me. So
no, I think those are great I mean, I think the turnaround, I don't know what the postage has changed, but I think it was still $4 each way or something like that. It's
not bad.
wasn't crazy, but I sent one of those to Boggs, Dawson, Canseco, Doc Gooden, and I got the 88 tops looking one on a Bo Jackson. So Waukesha Sports Cards is close by me in Wisconsin, and they're really reliable for signings. I haven't done a ton of them, but I'm blessed with being, 20 minutes from Brewers Ballpark, and they're exciting and get some good excitement around town.
Yeah, I saw you mentioned you got what's his name, a Mizorowski this year.
Oh yeah,
That's
brought
that
my
would be Oscar.
daughter to a game, and that was the day after his first start against the Cardinals, and
Yeah.
we brought her to the game early, and it just got lucky. I mean, he was down there finishing an interview, and we were probably one of a few people that thoroughly recognized who he was just yet. But yeah, that was a exciting in person, and got to meet Shota Imanaga last fall outside of the Cubs park, and that was a first ever not in the same language in person autograph exchange. It was pretty fun.
Nice. We mentioned earlier that you've got your Instagram account. So before we finish up, give the people a plug, or give that a plug. Let people know where they can follow you, Instagram, anywhere else as well that you post up.
Yeah, sure thing. It's probably really just there. It's called My TTM Gems, just as it sounds, like MYTTMGEMS. Looking for the big push to get over 900 to 1,000 followers, but I'm my first year in it, and I think I'm going to stay pretty true to just posting the kind of wild long shot replies. I mean, anyone that excites me is getting posted. I can't lie, but yeah, I'm having fun with that. So if anybody, needs an address, don't hesitate to ask. Just don't get offended if it doesn't show up in the comments.
Right. Yeah. Did you do any trading at all, or you just kind of show it all?
I'm happy to. There's a, I always trade with, you try to identify someone you can trust or someone has traded with them. Gentleman I found out of Houston, Raul Nino, and I trade, like, I do 89 tops, which he doesn't, and he does, I think, 89 Fleer, 80 and 90 Fleer. He sent me some others. He's broadening his horizons. I'm going to keep my focus on the 89 tops for now for set purposes. But yeah, I'll send off, if I get like a ticket stub or, an old photo, I've used some oversized cards, but I tend to keep it flat. I sent a couple balls to Sandberg. Glad I did. And it's probably a good idea to broaden the display in the collection with some guys who are accustomed and have good turnaround on that. I couldn't imagine the postage on that for the guys that are, and the cost of a ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great display piece, and especially somebody who's going to fill the ball nice and put down a nice signature.
Yeah. So the only ball that I've ever sent was Pat Gillick, the Blue Jays Hall of Fame general manager. And the reason I did was I actually had bought a case of 1992 World Series balls like 20 years ago. When I was graphing in person, it's like any ball I could get for cheap, I'm just going to, throw anybody on it and pick those up, because a friend of mine had a bunch that he'd gotten for cheap. And it's like, okay, I've got one left. I might as well get that one. Hey, he'll give you a great sig right under the World Series logo on it. So I'm like, yeah, let's go with that. So yeah, cool. Any other thoughts before we wrap things up here on this segment?
Oh, you know what? I think that was I did want to give a shout out to a couple of the young collectors that
go for it.
I've got the Kessler boys in Florida, young Finn McGehee in Wisconsin, and Jack Aarons in Illinois are all showing interest in the hobby, all under, I think, 13 years old. And it's fun to see the excitement that we still have from time to time, but that we know we had much heavier when we were younger.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, it's important to keep the kids interested in it as well, because, I mean, if you don't have them, what's going to happen to the hobby in the next, 30, 50, 100, however many years?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hey, there you go. Wade, thanks for joining us here on the Collector's Corner segment. Glad to have you on, and hopefully we'll get you on at some point again in the future.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
And a big thanks once again to Wade for joining us here in Collector's Corner. And hey, if you want to get on for Collector's Corner, shoot us an email. Aaron, what's the email address again?
That is ttmcast@yahoo.com.
There you go. Let us know you'd like to get on and talk about your collection. And yeah, we'll try to get you on here at some point in 2026. We're going to try to do Collector's Corner every other month this year if we possibly can. So yeah, let us know. We'll try to get you signed up for it. Right now, though, let's go ahead and move on into some grading info in Making the Grade.
From the grading lab to your ears, this is Making the Grade.
Making the Grade is a summary of all the things going on in the collectibles grading world. And this month, courtesy of GemRate, our Big Four has now become a Big Five grading companies. They've added on one more to their main index there. So, Aaron, give us a rundown there. What do we have from these new Big Five companies now?
I was going to say, I looked at that. I was like, there is something different here. So I'm happy that you mentioned that. So for the month of October 2025, PSA graded 1.97 million cards. That is up 27%. So healthy growth there. CGC graded 530,000 cards, which is up 5%. Beckett graded 93,000 cards, which is up 21%. And TAG, which is the new one, graded 51,000 cards, which is down 3% from last month. And SGC graded 50,000 cards, which is down 16%. All in all, for the month of October 2025, there were 2.7 million cards graded, and that is up all in all 20% for the month.
There you go. This is the first time I've heard of TAG. So if we have any listeners who have worked with them before, who've gotten some cards graded or authenticated or anything like that through them, let us know how it went. Keep us updated on that. We're always interested in adding in other information about other companies here that do grading and such, and getting involved in them to see, who some of the best ones are out there. And it's always nice to see that other companies are getting in on it and getting the recognition that they deserve on it. Let's move on now and take a look at this month's Big Three.
This week's Big Three is brought to you by GemRate.com. Whose cards are hot and whose cards are cold this week? Let's find out from our friends at GemRate.com.
The Big Three comes to us courtesy of GemRate.com. It is an exclusive piece of info to this show. You will not find this info anywhere else. Talk about individual players and who's moving up in the grading world and who's moving down a bit. Our big winners for this month: Vladimir Guerrero Jr., not quite a World Series winner, but a heck of a season for him, a great playoff run, and his grading numbers in the month of October were up 66%. So collectors definitely eyeballing his stuff right now. Zinedine Zidane comes in second. Some soccer action going on there. He's up 62%. And coming in third, Connor Griffin. He is up 58% in his grading as well. Vlad Jr. didn't have a high-profile card that had a massive spike, but he's been seeing increased activity with cards being graded from a lot of recent releases like Topps Home Field Advantage, Topps Chrome Shadow Etch, Bowman Anime, and others. So it'll be interesting to see if some of his rookie cards get a lot more attention here over the next few weeks, months, years, whatever as well. Meanwhile, what players do we have moving down? Aaron, give us a rundown there.
All right, so starting us off, we have Cam Ward, who is down 36%. Jung Hoo Lee is down 46%. And I guess, I don't know, you would say the big loser this month would be Paige Beckers, who is down 47% for the month of October.
So there you go. Keep an eye on those, the ups and the downs here. You might be able to find some bargains there on some of the falling ones. You might be able to, get in before they shoot up on the big ones as well. So thanks once again to GemRate for providing us all of that info. Once again, the Big Three is exclusive to TTM Cast. If you want some other great info from them, go and follow them online at GemRate. They are on Twitter. They are on Instagram. And if you want to do some deep dives into some really great grading numbers, go check out their website at GemRate.com. Let's go ahead and move on now into this month's TTM Cast Stamp of Approval.
I bet you're wondering who earned this week's TTM Cast Stamp of Approval.
It's the Stamp of Approval. We take a look at whatever we want to give our thumbs up to from the previous couple of weeks, months, whatever is on our mind there. Sometimes it's sports related, sometimes it's collectibles related. A lot of the time it's not, although I will say that some of these can be accessories that are great to go with for graphing, or in this case, for this one, it's going to get a lot of use from our road trip next summer. And my thumbs up is for Grinds brand coffee pouches. If you're a coffee drinker and you rely on your caffeine to get through your day, but you don't. Let's say it's. I mean, this is especially. This is why I think it's going to work well on our road trip. It's not always feasible to have a hot cup of coffee in your hand while you're going down the freeway at 75 miles an hour, because you don't want to end up with it all over your lap and scalding you and all that kind of stuff. And you try to take a drink and it ends up larger than you expect, and you burn your mouth, and nobody wants to deal with that. Grind's coffee pouches. They start at 25 milligrams. You also have 50 milligrams, even 100 milligrams. And what it is for anybody who's familiar with like Skull Bandits in chewing tobacco, which absolutely disgusts me, just for the record. But it's similar to those. I'll pop one open here. Aaron, you can at least see it here. I mean, I can't show anybody. Unfortunately, we don't have video on the show yet, but these little pouches, just like that. And they are stuffed with coffee grounds. Also, a little bit of flavoring in there as well, some artificial sweeteners. So if you don't, and I will say, I am very sensitive to artificial sweeteners. I think they taste absolutely disgusting. If I didn't know that these were artificially sweetened, I would not know it. The first time I tried it, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's kind of gross. But then after a while, it's like, you don't even notice it. But yeah, you get 25 milligrams of caffeine in each one. They've got some that are up to 50 milligrams in each one as well. And they come in a whole bunch of different flavors too. And so it was actually developed by some former baseball players who were trying to find a way to, they worked on a marketing project in college and trying to find a way to stay up and get through it. They thought, well, okay, what if we chew on these coffee grounds? And it's like, okay, it kind of worked. And so they end up entering this idea into a marketing and design and just inventions ideas contest. Took first place in it and used their money from this first place to, start the company up. They put it out to Major League Baseball, and the general consensus from a lot of players was this is a great idea that has been horribly executed. So they went back to the drawing boards on it, and they kind of were like, okay, yeah, kind of bummed out about that. And then in 2010, I think it was, 2 days after the Giants won the World Series in 2010, they got a voicemail left for them from none other than Bruce Bochy, saying, hey, this product was really great. I can't thank you guys enough. It helped me to quit chewing and, have something else to go with there. And so that kind of gave them this push they needed to continue their company forward. And so they kind of reformulated, retweaked everything, sent it back to Major League Baseball again for a second trial run. And this time, all the responses were, this is a great product, this is a great idea, and I want more. And the company was born. 15 years later now, they're still going strong. They sell their stuff online. I believe it's at grindscoffeepouches.com. A lot of the stuff is now available in gas stations. Walmart has started carrying some of their varieties as well. And yeah, I've made 2 purchases from them so far. These have been great. It's a great substitute for coffee if you don't want to have to go and brew yourself up a whole pot of it or anything like that. Toss in one of those and you're good to go for a cup for at least, you get good flavor out of it for an hour or so. You get a nice caffeine boost in energy and concentration. They also have coffee-free varieties that just have 80 milligrams of caffeine that are in there, which these ones have a little bit of chemically flavor, not the greatest, but they get the job done as well. So, but yeah, I cannot recommend these enough. If you're somebody who wants a nice caffeine burst, if you're looking to try to quit chew or something like that, Grind's Coffee Pouches. Great products. That is my TTM Cast stamp of approval for this month. Aaron, what do you got on your side?
Well, for the first thing, I feel like I'm doing this show with like Bob Vila or somebody. It's like sick chords, also grind.
I'm promoting everything that I can right now. Yes. This has now turned into an hour-and-a-half long infomercial. Ha ha, suckers.
Here pretty soon, it's like, don't you wish that you had all your favorite songs of the 80s on one easy-to-find CD?
Oh, man.
That's
I could do it too. I'll put together like a punk rock compilation here and just...
Oh man. Yeah. You need to market this skill that you have, Drew.
Absolutely.
So my stamp of approval this month is I was watching the game last time, and obviously it's the last baseball game of the season, no matter what happens. And it's like game 7 and just everything's on the line. And you've got Toronto, who's super hungry. They haven't been to they haven't won a World Series since I was 5 years old, and it's just the atmosphere the whole night is electric. And then you got Bo Bichette, who wasn't even on the roster in the ALCS or anything like that, and he can barely run, and he hits a 3-run bomb that put Toronto up. And then you got Miguel Rojas, who hasn't even played a game, maybe one game since the DS, and all of a sudden he turns into whoever you want to say, like the greatest player of all time, ties the game, cuts the runner, cuts Connor Falefa at home to save the game, and all of a sudden, there's just nothing like playoff baseball, man. And there's just nothing like baseball in general, and that's the reason why it's my favorite sport. And I'm just watching this and watching all these things happen. And, the ball gets in the gap, and Andy Pages, who we got in Frisco, for the Tulsa Drillers, basically trucks Kike Hernandez, his own teammate, trying to get that ball. And I mean, there's just so many crazy things going on. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, how can you not be romantic about baseball, man? It's just, and now I love other sports. I love hockey. I love basketball, football, all that good stuff. But it's like nothing quite has the panache that baseball has, And so I'm just watching that game, and it had a little bit of everything. I'm like, what is the next crazy thing that's going to happen? And so I had determined in my mind that that the Blue Jays were going to end up walking it off on a inside the park home run. Because that was like the only thing that could have taken it. It just seemed like the last, I don't know, 5-6 innings of that game, that it was just like kept getting ratcheted up a notch a little bit. And I was like, what is the most unbelievable thing that I can possibly think of? And I was like, okay, inside the park home run, or like little league home run, where it's like, it's a ground ball and they like throw it down the first baseline and he gets, the one. But yeah, I mean, just an awesome season. The Rangers did not have an awesome season, but a lot of really interesting stuff happened, from Cal Raleigh to all the other stuff that's going on. And nobody picked the Blue Jays, like you said, and they were like last place. And then you had the Dodgers, and they were not great for a while, even though everybody obviously had picked them to win. They went through a lot of adversity. But yeah, I mean, baseball is just, I look forward to next year. I'm going to miss baseball, and I'm going to do exactly what Rogers Hornsby talked about, and I'm going to stare out the window and wait for spring because it's nothing like baseball.
You mentioned Cal Raleigh in there, and let this be a piece of advice to players out there. Cal Raleigh signed for me at spring training, and he cranked 60 home runs. Therefore, you should all be signing for me anytime I show up anywhere, just because, Kyle Higashioka signed for me at spring training, and he hit 2 home runs later that day after signing for me. All right, there's a pattern here. Bobby Witt Jr., he signed one for me. He went out and hit a homer in that game as well. So, if you see me out there, if there's a current players listening to this, if you see me, you should probably sign for me just to be on the safe side, because, it seems to be working for a few of these guys. So, yeah, just a heads up on that.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's an exact correlation between those two things.
I'm beginning to assume there is. Correlation implies causation for this and for this only.
But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a whole ton of minor leaguers and major leaguers walking around with pictures of you in their pockets. It's like, if I see this guy, I've got to sign for him so that I can hit 300 with 50 bombs this year.
Hey, if jumping over the foul lines is something that you do to, make sure that things are better, go better for you, then signing for me should be right on that list as well. It tracks as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, you make a point. It's hard to argue with that.
So there you go. That is this month's stamp for approval. And as I enjoy a Grinds pouch, let's go ahead and move on in now to the Vern Rapp Minute. The Vern Rapp Minute is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Vern Rapp, former Major League manager, former minor league ball player. Our show's founder, Jeff Baker, tried mailing off to him and did not know that he had already passed away. And so We provide this as a service to the TTM community to let you know when somebody has passed away that has been known to be a good signer in the world of sports, music, movies, politics, anything like that. Anybody you might consider TTMing, if they're a good TTMer and have passed away, we'll try to let you know about it. First one from this month, we lost Bill Pleiss. Bill was a pitcher for the Minnesota Twins from their inaugural season of 1961 through 1966. But 21-16 at that time, a 4.07 ERA across his career. Bill was a very good TTMer up until this past September. He was 88 years old.
And we lost Bernie Smith at the age of 84. He was an outfielder from 1970 to 1971 with the Milwaukee Brewers. He was a career .232 hitter through 59 games in his career. And he was a good TTMer through last month.
We also lost to Rob Malakote this month. Rob was a pitcher for the Houston Astros from 1987 to 92. Kind of a big gap in between there as he dealt some Achilles injuries early on in his career that kind of threw off his career a bit, and then some shoulder issues that put him out for 2 full seasons at one point in there. In his career, he was 0-2 with a 5.70 ERA, 1 save in that time as well. He was a very good TTMer also through this past September. Rob Malakote was 60 years old.
And we also lost John Morris at the age of 84. He was a pitcher from 1966 to 1974. And during his career, he was pretty well traveled, pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies, the Baltimore Orioles, the Seattle Pilots, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the San Francisco Giants. He was 11-7 in his career with a 3.95 ERA and 132 appearances during that time. And he was a good TTMer through December 2024.
We also lost Larry Burright. Larry was an infielder for a couple of years with the Dodgers and the Mets, 1962 to 1964. Kind of a short career there. Hit .205 with 4 career home runs, but one of those home runs was a game-tying 2-run homer in 1962 off of none other than TTM legend Bobby Shantz. Larry himself was a good TTMer through September of this year. He was 88 years old.
And we also lost Sandy Alomar Sr. This month at the age of 81. He was a former infielder from 1964 through 1978 with 6 teams. His longest tenured was the California Angels, but I know that he also played for my Texas Rangers for a minute. He was a 1970 All-Star, and he was the father of Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar and also Sandy Alomar Jr. And he was an occasional TTMer through September 2024.
We lost Gary Gray earlier this month as well. Gary was a first baseman from 1977 to 82, played a little in the outfield as well. Played with the Rangers, the Indians, and the Seattle Mariners. His best season came in 1981. He hit 13 home runs in only 214 plate appearances. So this is a guy that on a full season could have been a potential 30 home run hitter. He was a good TTMer through July of this year. Gary Gray was 72 years old.
And we lost Willis Crenshaw. He was a running back from 1964 to 1970 with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Denver Broncos. In 1968, he had 145 all-purpose yards and 7 touchdowns that season. He was a good TTMer through April 2024, and he was 84 years old.
Keeping it in football, as another running back, we lost Dewey Bowling this month. Dewey was a running back for 2 seasons in the AFL, played for the New York Titans and the Buffalo Bills in that time. Across those 2 seasons, he had 4 rushing and 5 receiving touchdowns. He's going to be a good TTMer through April of 2024. Dewey Bowling was 87 years old.
And lastly, we lost Marty Domrus, who passed away at the age of 78. He was a quarterback from 1966 to 1977 with the San Diego Chargers, the Baltimore Colts, the San Francisco and the New York Jets. My football recall not that great. So his best season was in 1972 as a member of the Baltimore Colts, and he had 1,392 passing yards and 11 TDs that year. He was a good TTMer through last month.
Well, there you go. If you've lost anybody this month, our thoughts are certainly with you. As we move in now to our TTM returns.
Was our mailbox full this week? Let's take a look at this week's TTM returns.
It's the main reason why the show exists, why we all are here. It is our TTM returns, and kind of a light month, as we said earlier in the show. I have not sent out much. I really need to get on that, but the good news is all those cards I'd said that I need to get sorted are finally sorted and done. I've sent a lot off to our friend Chris as well. He and his nephew send a lot out, and so usually they'll send out 4 cards. They'll keep 3 and give me 1, so I've gotten a few that way at least, but I don't count those. I'm just going with the ones that I myself have mailed out and gotten back, and I at least have a short list here that we'll go through. 2 private signings to talk about. I mentioned earlier that I got Lloyd Mosby in one with Jamie Bly recently and got that back this month. 3 cards signed by him, including 2 of the 1984 Topps Team Leaders cards. Aaron, you might remember the 2018 National. I found a table there that had a whole bunch of random autographs, $1 each or 12 for 10, and the guy had maybe 20 Dave Steebs in that box. And so I'm like, yoink, yoink, and yoink on everything that's in there on Steeb. So grabbed those 84s in there and got Mosby to finish those off this month. So very happy to get those, and a Diamond King as well. Another private signing, got Rob Dibble back just the other day. Got in on his, trying to remember, was his through Silverback? It might have been through Silverback. I don't remember now off the top of my head, but either way, it was a $12, I believe. He's either $12 or $15, very affordable. Got him for a set that I'm doing, so happy to add that one in. When it comes to regular TTMs, I got Al Roboski, of course, the Mad Hungarian, 3-month return time on him. Got back Sam McDowell, Sudden Sam, the former Cleveland Indians and Giants, and I think Yankees, along maybe with a couple other teams. Hurler of the 60s and 70s, a 3-month return time on him. $5 was the fee to get Sam McDowell. A little bit longer of a wait on Mark Kiefer. I actually sent out both Mark and Steve Kiefer on the same day to see who would win the race back to me, and Steve came back pretty quickly. I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks or so. Mark Kiefer taking 6 months, but signed for me. Got those back here earlier this month as well. Todd Zeal, whom I've had delayed in sending to so many times, I'm like, all right, this time I got to get these out. And right after I mailed off, it seemed like the returns had dried up. I'm like, God, did I miss out on the window again? But no, these came back 6 months or so, the return time on those. In the basketball world, I mailed off to Dick Motta, the former head coach of several teams. He was the Washington Bullets in the late 70s, early 80s. He's coach of the Mavericks for a bit, coach of the Sacramento Kings in the late 80s to early 90s. He took out he signed 2 cards for me. He took out the 3rd card and put in his signed Dallas Mavericks business card in there as well. So it's like, I will gladly take that trade any day. Kind of a cool piece to add right there. And lastly, hockey player Ted Hampson, who I mailed off to back during COVID. It was September of 2020. I mailed that one off and got it back from him after a 5-year wait, but he signed all 3 cards I had in there. So cool to get that one. Good to see he's catching up on his mail there after taking a few years off. So if you need Ted Hampson, now might be the best time to mail to him. So there you go. That's what I've got. And Aaron, looks like kind of a shorter segment coming here for you.
The needless to say. So as I mentioned, it was kind of a crazy month, and I didn't have a lot to do with the hobby this month, unfortunately. And so I got back exactly nothing. There's still a few that I'm waiting on, and so hopefully I'll get some of those back. But you can admonish me for having nothing, and so I will. I will definitely be doing better. In fact, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go have some lunch, and then after I'm done with that, I'm going to come back and get working on these TTM so I can have something to talk about next month.
Well, there you go. And I mean, I need to do the same thing because, like I said, I've got enough stamps to send out like 30 of them right now. I've got cards pulled for a couple thousand players, I think, that are good signers. So my work's cut out for me. I just got to open the box, figure out who to pull out of there, and put the pen to the paper, which sometimes is the toughest part of it. I'm just like, oh, God, the work part of this now. But, yeah, we'll see. I know I've got one Gonzalez I need to send out. I've got a couple others, too. I've got a pile here with like 3 of them already addressed, but one Gonzalez is one because I picked up his, I think it was in 97 or 98, Donruss Preferred, the year that Donruss Preferred did the metal ones with the bronze, the silver, the gold, and the platinum ones. He's on platinum one, and I picked that up a couple months ago to send off, and I haven't gotten around to that yet because, again, getting lazy, spending a lot of time sorting stuff. But, yeah, I might crank a few out here with you today or maybe tomorrow, sometime this week, and hopefully I will mail some out along with you, and we'll be able to keep the successes rolling here on the show because I admit I have slacked this year big time. My goal was, I was thinking, okay, I'll send out 300 this year, and I'm not even at 100 yet at this point. So that'll change, though, hopefully. And like I said, I sent off to a few private signings in there as well. So at least I'll have those to talk about at some point in, hopefully in December, and if not, then on into January. So we'll keep you updated on those. Well, that about does it here for November's episode. Aaron, any final thoughts before we go ahead and wrap this one on up?
Another great show. Good job for us. High five, Drew. But another month that TTM Cast is on the air, so it's good. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing y'all in December.
Absolutely, and of course, I mean, we'll be on the air next month and on in through at least 2026 as well. Big thanks to everybody who donated. We're going to have your prizes out to you here later on, hopefully this week, if not then next week. Just waiting on the damn things to arrive already, but it says that they have at least been shipped, so we got that going for us, which is nice. Big thanks, of course, to Aaron for sitting in on the co-host seat, and to Wade Bute for joining us in Collector's Corner. Thanks as well to Belinda Wheeler joining us on the Hobby Happenings segment, as she'll be doing on every episode from here onward. If you haven't gotten in with Wanna Shuffle yet, make sure you do that. I mean, we're closing in on 200 submissions each month on this. This is after something that started out with she was super excited to see 10 or 15 each month. And now getting this many, holy crap. Get in on that. Get in on these shuffle trades. They're a lot of fun to do. I can't speak highly enough of Wanna Shuffle right now. And of course, a big thanks to Ruthie Baker providing all of the work that gets this from our mouths out to your ears every month. Another reminder, if you want to get in on the order of my Sig Spot cards, shoot me an email at dfwgrapher@gmail.com. We'll talk about what you're looking for, how many you need, all that kind of stuff. 25 cards for $5. You're not going to be able to beat that really anywhere. Our next episode will come to you in early December, probably Monday, December 1st, if we can manage to pull that off. Grapher DIY will be our segment in there. We're going to talk about stuff to get the grapher in your life for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever the holiday is that's coming up that you celebrate. If you want to get the grapher in your life a gift, we'll have some great ideas for what you can get them. With that, we wish you many happy returns, and we'll see you next month here on TTM Cast.
Everyone, be good.